At dawn, the forest should have been empty. Instead, a red fox stood beneath the security light of a remote wildlife clinic. Her ribs rose and fell like bellows. Between her teeth, she carried something smaller than a glove. Maya froze behind the glass door. The fox did not run. She lowered a newborn kit onto the concrete step. Then she backed away and stared directly at the human inside. The kit gave one thin cry. The fox turned toward the trees, but she did not disappear. Maya opened the door slowly and crouched without reaching forward. The mother flattened her ears, yet held her ground. A wild animal had crossed every instinctive boundary to come here. The question was not whether she feared humans. The question was why fear had become less important than trust. A deer leads a hiker toward a trapped fawn. A crow drops an injured chick beside a familiar porch. An elephant pushes a weak calf toward people near a ranger station. A dolphin circles a boat while her calf struggles below the surface. The details change, but the gesture feels unmistakable. To understand that choice, we must first remove a comforting myth. Wild animals do not suddenly become tame. They do not forget that humans can be dangerous. They calculate risk under pressure. For the fox outside Maya's clinic, the forest had stopped being safe. A storm had flooded her den before sunrise. She had found one kid alive. Its body was chilled, silent, and barely moving. The mother could warm it, carry it, and hide it. She could not repair its damaged breathing. Across the clearing stood a building where injured animals sometimes entered and later returned. The fox had watched that pattern for months. She had also seen healthy creatures released at the tree line. Wildlife learns through consequences. A place that repeatedly produces survival can become part of an animal's mental map. Maya wrapped the kit in a warm towel. The mother followed every movement through the open doorway. Inside, a heating pad glowed beneath a steel table. Dr. Lena pressed a stethoscope against the tiny chest. Water crackled in the kit's lungs. A tube delivered oxygen while the fox remained outside. Her behavior emerged from memory, observation, urgency, and maternal drive. But only when the animal believes a human may change the outcome. Animals study us more carefully than most of us study them. They notice which vehicles mean danger and which doors release survivors. A crow can remember a threatening face for years. An elephant can recognize voices and distinguish familiar groups. Trust is rarely a feeling that appears all at once. It is a record of repeated evidence. By mid-morning, biologist Elias arrived at the clinic. He found Maya seated near the door while the fox watched from the grass. Elias did not call the mother's behavior magical. He called it flexible intelligence under extreme pressure. She sniffed the air flowing from the clinic. Her body leaned forward while her back feet remained ready to flee. Two opposite decisions occupied her at the same time. Wild parents survive by balancing such conflicts. Sometimes, the cost of avoidance becomes too high. Then an animal may approach the very creature it normally escapes. This is called a risk trade-off. The animal is not choosing humans because humans are harmless. It is choosing humans because every other option appears worse. An elephant cannot always move a collapsed calf from deep mud, but each parent can search, signal, lead, push, carry, or wait. These actions become a language built from movement. Placing a baby down can transfer responsibility. The meaning is never guaranteed. Humans often project stories onto animal behavior. That is why careful observation matters. We must ask whether the animal had previous contact with people. At a river reserve, Ranger Thomas once noticed an elephant cow blocking the road. She faced his vehicle and refused to move. Dust rolled around her feet. Her trunk lifted, dropped, and pointed toward the reeds. Thomas reversed several meters. The elephant advanced exactly the same distance. He drove forward again. She turned and walked toward the river. After 20 steps, she looked back. Thomas followed slowly. Behind the reeds, a calf lay inside a collapsed drainage trench. Its front legs scraped uselessly against concrete. The mother could reach it with her trunk. She could not create enough space to lift it. When the ranger arrived with ropes and a shovel, she retreated. She did not leave. She stood beyond the trees and rumbled so deeply that the ground seemed to answer. The rescue took 3 hours. Every machine frightened her. Every human scent warned her away. Yet the calf's distress kept pulling her back. When the trench wall finally broke, muddy water rushed across the sand. The calf stumbled free. The mother crossed the open ground before the workers could collect their tools. Her trunk swept over the calf's spine. Then the pair vanished into tall grass. No thank you was required. The choice itself revealed enough. The elephant had not trusted humanity as an idea. She had trusted a specific possibility. These creatures can move obstacles. These creatures may respond to signals. These creatures sometimes return what they take. Specific trust is safer than general trust. It allows an animal to approach one person while avoiding others. A backyard crow may tolerate the woman who fills a water dish. The same crow may alarm at a stranger wearing a hat. A fox may visit one quiet clinic and flee from every nearby house. A dolphin may approach a fishing boat that previously cut a line. Memory narrows the bridge. Repetition strengthens it. Crisis finally forces the crossing. Yet there is another reason babies appear in human hands. Some young animals approach people without being brought by a parent. Curiosity pulls them beyond safe boundaries. Hunger weakens their caution. Injury disrupts normal movement. Imprinting can make a juvenile follow the wrong species. A mother may be hidden nearby while humans assume abandonment. This is where good intentions can become dangerous. A fawn lying alone in grass is often not orphaned. Its mother may return only a few times each day. A fledgling on the ground may be learning to fly. Its parents may be watching from a branch. Removing a healthy baby can destroy the family we think we are saving. Real rescue begins with restraint. Observe from a distance. Look for immediate threats. Contact trained wildlife professionals. Do not feed, touch, or relocate the animal unless experts advise it. The most compassionate action may be to walk away. Maya knew this when she treated the fox kit. She also knew the mother had delivered the baby to a human structure. The kit was cold, aspirating water, and unable to nurse. Intervention was not a guess. It was the only remaining path. By afternoon, the rain stopped. Sunlight spread across the wet parking lot. The fox moved into shade beneath a cedar. She curled her tail around her feet. Her eyes never closed. Inside, the kit swallowed a drop of warmed formula. Its lungs still rattled. Lena lowered the oxygen flow and listened again. The next hour would decide whether the story continued. Across the room, Elias examined footage from the security camera. The fox had visited the clinic before. 3 weeks earlier, she had watched a rehabilitated owl leave a transport box. 9 days later, she had crossed the clearing after 2 raccoons were released. She had remained hidden, but her face appeared between the ferns. The building had become associated with animals returning alive. That association may have guided her through the storm. There was no need to imagine human-like reasoning. Simple learning was powerful enough. Animals connect places with outcomes. They connect individuals with danger or relief. They update those connections when circumstances change. A mother under pressure uses every fragment of remembered information. Smell tells her who has been there. Sound tells her what is happening now. Sight tells her whether escape remains possible. The baby's condition tells her how much risk she can afford. When those signals converge, an extraordinary approach can become the most rational choice available. This does not diminish the wonder. It sharpens it. The bridge between species is not made from fantasy. It is made from attention, memory, and consequence. Humans become trustworthy only when our behavior leaves trustworthy evidence. A ranger who frees trapped animals creates evidence. A sailor who cuts nets creates evidence. A farmer who avoids nests creates evidence. A child who watches quietly creates evidence. Even an animal that never approaches may record the difference. Near sunset, the fox kit lifted its head. A squeak escaped beneath the towel. Outside, the mother stood so quickly that leaves scattered behind her. Maya carried the closed recovery box toward the doorway. The fox retreated to the edge of the clearing. Lena had stabilized the kit, but it still needed warmth and monitoring. Returning it immediately could end the progress. Keeping it too long could weaken the bond with its mother. The team prepared an outdoor enclosure beside the forest. Mesh protected the kit while allowing scent and sound to pass. A heated shelter waited inside. Maya placed the box on the ground and opened it. The kit crawled into the shelter. The mother emerged after the human stepped back. Her nose touched the mesh. The kit answered with a stronger cry. For the first time all day, the fox lowered her body and rested. The humans watched from behind dark glass. Nothing about the moment erased the distance between them. The fox remained wild. Her fear remained useful. Her caution would protect both mother and young. Trust had not replaced instinct. Trust had worked beside instinct for one critical day. That is the hidden pattern behind many stories of animals bringing babies to humans. The animal does not surrender its nature. It expands its options. It notices a tool beyond claws, teeth, wings, or strength. Sometimes that tool is us. The responsibility begins the moment we are chosen. A desperate animal does not need affection first. It needs calm. It needs space. It needs the right help instead of the fastest help. It needs humans who understand that rescue is not possession. The goal is not to make wildlife dependent on us. The goal is to return control to the animal. At midnight, the fox carried the recovering kit from the enclosure. She gripped it gently by the scruff. Rainwater shone on the grass. Maya stood motionless behind the window. The mother paused at the tree line. Her head turned toward the clinic one final time. Then the darkness folded around them. Weeks later, a trail camera recorded the fox near a dry hillside den. 3 kits tumbled behind her. One was smaller than the others. It kept pace. There was no collar, mark, or sign of human ownership. There was only a living animal where silence had almost begun. Perhaps the fox remembered the clinic. Perhaps she remembered only the route, the smell, and the result. Either memory was enough. Wild animals bring their babies to humans when desperation meets learned possibility. They come because natural tools have failed. They come because past behavior has made one person or place seem useful. They come because parental drive can overpower fear for a few dangerous minutes. And sometimes they do not come at all, but silently lead us toward where help is needed. We should resist turning every encounter into a miracle. We should also resist pretending that nothing meaningful has happened. Across a boundary built by millions of years of survival, one creature has read another. It has measured the risk. It has offered a signal. The human response determines what that signal will mean in the future. Every rescue teaches more than the animal being saved. It teaches the watching mother. It teaches the flock above the road. It teaches the herd beyond the trees. It may teach an entire landscape whether our presence predicts danger or relief. The next time a wild animal lingers, instead of fleeing, do not rush toward it. Slow your breathing. Read the space around it. Look for the baby, the trap, the wound, or the hidden path. Call someone trained to understand what you are seeing. Let knowledge guide compassion. Because the most powerful moment is not when a wild animal acts human. It is when a human becomes trustworthy enough to remain part of the wild animal's choices.